live in like around a few minutes, like 10 minutes before 7, it just kicked me out.
Gives a look.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm live now.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
you're learning lighting skills.
Yeah. Yeah. Too much light. Let's see where I'm at. Let's see if I'm coming up. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Good evening, everybody. This is your friend, Yusuf Chowdhury, once again tuning in from San Antonio, Texas. Hey, you didn't see this message in my shirt, right?
They can't?
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good message, right? Yeah, it's a good message. Yeah. I should go with this at the store because, they will all freak out. All right, everyone. How y'all doing today? This is Yusuf Chowdhury once again. What time is it right now? Oh, 6:04 p.m. Central Time. All right. Let's see what we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about today? Let's see. Let's see what kind of question do we have. Are you serious? Let's see. Are you serious? Yeah, people are like, what the heck? What are you talking about? Yes, I'm serious. So serious. Yep. Okay, so you folks got any questions for me today? How y'all doing? It's Friday, right? Yeah, it is Friday. Can track of my time. All right, so let's see what kind of question do we have here for today. What are the most common mistake when it comes to building a website? Building a website. What do you mean building a website? Oh, we do what? Okay, what are some of the common mistake on our website? Oh, okay. Okay, common mistake. What are those common mistake on our website? Well, I would say there's several. Okay, there are several mistakes that most people do when it comes to building a website. Okay, first of all, they're not serious. Okay, so that's the first thing. They're not too serious about their website. They treat the website like it is some type of brochure, but that's not how you have to look at it. You know what I mean? Here's the thing: when your target customer or target audience land on your website, you have like probably 2 to 5 seconds for them to figure out what this website is about. If the message is not clear, if the images are not clear, if the message is not clear, that's I would say that's a problem. Okay, so I would say that's one of the mistake number one. Mistake number two, having a website to be too cluttered. Okay, too cluttered. That means on the navigation area, you have like probably 20 pages. Then you have sub navigation with like additional 10 pages or 10 options. There's too many. So even if you have, let's say, 20 services, you don't have to put all the tab for services on the navigation bar. You can just have the service tab. When people move their mouse to it, then you can have the sub pages or the sub tab for that one page. Make sense? So I would say don't make it to be too cluttered. Okay, make sure they get the message quickly as soon as they land on the website. Number three mistake, I would say not having a call to action. And this is very common, not having a call to action. So what do I mean by call to action? Like, for example, contact us now, call us now, book a session, book an appointment. I want this copy. Let's say if you're offering a white paper or a document or a case study or several videos that you want to give out, something of high value, right? So there has to be some sort of one primary main call to action. Okay, like one primary main call to action. So I see number three that a lot of them don't have that clear call to action. Number four, if you have a specific, well, typically you do have a specific color or brand color, maybe like 2 or 3 maximum. Your call to action should not match the brand color. It should be a little bit different, like maybe yellow, dark red, dark orange, because that's like a psychology. When people look at your website, look at the brand, look at the logo, the color, the messages, and for some reason this one call to action looks off color, looks different, so it forces them to see on the call to action. Make sense? So that was number four. The call to action color has to be off color. Okay? What else I can think of in terms of the common mistake when it comes to the website? This is the one. This is very, very popular, almost like probably 99.99 out of 10, okay, don't have this. And that is not configuring the Google Analytics and the Google Search Console, okay? So those are very common. So you got to make sure that you have the Google Analytics and the Google Search Console configured. Why? Because the analytics will basically give you an idea, some type of data about the visitors, the behavior of your target visitors, where they're coming from, how many are coming from mobile devices versus desktop or laptop, which pages are popular. Make sense? Is my social media activities working? Am I getting traffic from the social media channels? Am I getting traffic organically or through the search or through backlink? Okay, that's why you need the Google Analytics. You also need the Google Search Console because of the on-page SEO implementation. You got to make sure that you don't have any type of malware running in the background. If there are some sort of duplicate page titles or content within the website, the Search Console will let you know. It can also help you with optimization as well. Typically, especially when the Search Console gives you the total impression of your website on the search engine and how many clicks you are getting, okay, versus other metrics and data that the Google Analytics got for you. Okay, so that is that's number 4, right? Number 5, I would say the content is not enough. Okay, there's not enough content on the pages, or those content are not easily readable or clear because the content has to be content has to be consistent. Make sense? So that's number 5. So the way you explain your business, the service you provide, the testimony, and how to get started and whatnot, all has to be in the same type of theme or easily readable. So you don't want to have one section to be written like Shakespeare and other section like written by elementary kid, right? So make sure the content are consistent throughout the website. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6, this is another common mistake. I would say like 9 out of 10 don't even do it, and that is some of the basic on-page SEO technique, right? For example, missing title tag or meta tag description, or having a duplicate meta tag description or title tag, not having enough alternative text for images. Maybe there are some broken links. Or images, what do you call it, that don't point to another page, or is irrelevant pictures, okay? And the website is very slow. So these are basic technical thing that you got to make sure that it's taken care of. But these are another common mistake. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6, and this is when it comes to your branding. So you have the color, not more than like 2 or 3. And the way you have the text has to be consistent throughout the pages. If you're using one type of font style, I would recommend not more than 2. Then you don't want to have like 3 type of fonts on the home page and another type of fonts on the second page and the service page. That is kind of weird, right? So I wouldn't go with that. Okay. Also, if your website doesn't have the HTTPS, that's also very common these days. So you got to make sure that you have the HTTPS on from the domain itself, the URL. You got to make sure that you have the privacy policy, terms of service, legal disclaimer, and now with the accessibility disclaimer. So you need to make sure that those pages are on the bottom on the footer. Okay. Number 7, if you have a blog, you have to make sure that the blog comes with the social sharing button so your readers can share them. And a comment box if you want to really engage with the audience who's reading your content, because that way it can definitely give a signal to the search that, okay, there's some activities happening here and people enjoying the conversation. That means this particular content has a value. Number 8, your blogging has to have some sort of proper strategy. The mistake that I see, that there are titles but no images, and the way the blogs are written, it's not coherent or not easy to read, right? So you have to have an interesting, enticing title. You have to have an image that is attached to the title, or an image that is relevant to the subject, because the image is very catchy. Human beings by design are visual. So if you have a title that is catchy, but the image is also reflective of the topic and it's also catchy, that's gonna, bring some sort of attention to them, right? When they read the blog, you have the header bolded, like big header, then the paragraph, then you have the subheaders all organized with bullet points. You got to make it very easy for them to read and navigate and go through the content instead of like smushing all together like a one sort of some sort of, I don't know, research paper document, right? So you got to make sure that the blog is properly optimized. Y'all got to also make sure that it's properly written and organized so it'd be easy for the user and reader to read it. Okay. Number 9, you need to have, and it depends on the business, the type of business. If you do want to capture leads, so try to use email marketing system like MailChimp or MailerLite and Aweber and whatnot, so you can capture leads coming to your website. Once you capture them, now you have to have a proper plan. How are you going to utilize the list? Are you going to send them a thank you message with some sort of gift? After that, are you going to have a sequence of maybe weekly or even twice a month or once a month reminder of some of the content that they need to read, or go back to your social channels, your Facebook page or your Facebook group, so they can engage more there? Make sense? So these are some of the ideas when it comes to making sure that don't make a mistake. Hey, Jitan, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. It's good to see you, bro. Okay, so that was number 9. And also make sure that your social channels, if you have like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, make sure that you have them on the bottom of the page. If you don't want the visitor to get distracted from the front page, if you just want them to take some sort of action on a call to action and not get distracted with anything else, then you can have the social media icons on the bottom for them to follow, or you can put it at the top if that's what you want to do. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the stuff that I can think of when it comes to mistake. I would also say maybe make sure that your website is fast and make sure it's mobile friendly. Okay, make sure the website is built for mobile friendliness. You know what I mean? Because nowadays that's what's happening right now. The majority of the traffic usually come from mobile devices. Shane, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Yeah, man, how have you been? Good to see you. You got any question for me today about digital marketing? Please feel free to ask. So I was just talking about one of the question was about the common mistakes. I was basically addressing some of the common mistake when it comes to a website. Actually more, but I only shared like 10. I just shared like 10 mistakes that I can think of that is so common when it comes to a website. Okay. So any more questions, folks? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Okay, I was also reading this interesting article from advertisement.com. It's a Facebook agency company. Please, Shen, go ahead. Ask before I share this content about some of the creative tips for restaurants running around this time. If you know anybody that's running a restaurant, maybe you can share some of these ideas. I'm going to wait for Shane because he got a question. Let us see. Okay, I have a question about website design scams lately. Yeah, let me know. What do you mean? Like, I have a question. I had a question about website design scams lately. Can you give me a detail? Like, can you elaborate? What do you mean by the scams? Are you talking about some folks taking or exploiting the opportunity of the crisis and trying to sell something, or not delivering, or what? I had a question about website design scams lately. If you can elaborate, Shane, let me know. Excuse me. If you can elaborate on your question. Because we had a conversation in a digital marketing answering question group about how some folks, there are some folks that, so-called gurus, this has been happening like, for years, not just right now, that how some of them basically took the opportunity of the crisis and started trying to offer their crappy services. You know what I mean? To basically let the people get in. Then after that, you never know what's going to happen. So let me know if you can elaborate on your question about design scams lately. You said I had a question about website design scams lately. What is it like? What exactly have you seen anybody scamming? Can you elaborate on that one, please? Okay. While I'm going to wait on you to elaborate on your question, so this interesting article from advertisement.com talks about the 18 creative ways to keep your restaurant running during the COVID-19 quarantine. Some folks trying to use your service. Some folks trying to use your service and charging a credit card for payment only to be stolen card and paying for your service. Interesting. Well, I haven't seen that. That's interesting. Here's the thing, though. You have to be very careful when it comes to when anybody provides a service. Let's say I'm going to do a design for you. There's a process, right? There's a process in terms of like, okay, what kind of business are you in? The person who's selling the service, they have to qualify you. So they will ask you a certain question to understand your needs and your wants and your goals, right? After they do that, they have to write. I mean, this is like the professional agencies, how they do work. They, like myself included, is we typically will give you, after the consultation and going like, not more than 2 or 3 times, getting all the information and qualifying you, then we're going to write the contract, and the contract will basically explain the scope of work and the delivery and the time, and also the price and the estimate, the rate and the type of payment, right? Then after that, you have to sign the contract and decide how you want to make the payment, whether through a check or through online payment and whatnot, and make sure that whoever is hiring you or whoever is actually helping you with the service, if you're in the state, try to make sure that they're also in the state, right? Because the legality that you can use it to go after. If somebody's from overseas, it might be a little bit difficult for you to go after them, okay? Once you sign the contract, then typically you will pay half, okay? You will pay half. Then after that, when the project is finished, you will pay the remaining balance. So typically that's how the system works. Now, if you're saying that there are some folks trying to use, let's say, your service and charging a credit card for payment only to be stolen card and paying for your service. Well, unfortunately, if I'm going to hire a customer and they have a stolen card, unfortunately, I wouldn't know, right? I wouldn't be able to know if the card was stolen or not. So typically, when I take a payment here locally, here in San Antonio, Texas, I basically have several options. Either mail a check to our company, or we can collect it from you, or you can pay through direct deposit to my bank, like that, or we can sometimes take the client's information with, of course, authorization and agreement that if this is the type of service that we're going to charge you, we have a record of your, let's say, credit card information that we can charge it every month through QuickBooks and whatnot. You know what I mean? But honestly, Shane, I haven't seen that situation that you're describing. I haven't really seen it yet. The stuff that I've seen is that I wouldn't say in that perspective, but what I've seen that some of the so-called gurus basically took advantage of the situation and trying to sell their so-called expensive, courses and whatnot for free right now. But once people get in, then after that, they're going to probably start charging them like crazy. Makes sense? Those are some of the things that I saw. Okay. So I'm not sure if you have any example or a snapshot or to kind of share with me so I can look at it and maybe discuss it with my digital marketing community about this so-called scam that you're noticing. All right. So let's talk about this article that gives some ideas about, about the, about the restaurant, how they can right now utilize the time. Scam targets web designers by Jim Spencer's, published November 18. Okay, let me check that. Let me see what that is. Let's see, by Jim. There's an email scam target, web designers, Jim Spencer. Let me see. Jim Spencer. I see Jim Spencer has he is on LinkedIn. I got his LinkedIn account. Let me see if I can blog Wranglers. Let me look at his article. Beware of the fake payday loan. Okay, that's another scam. Scam web target web designers by Jim Spencer. I can't find any article interesting about the subject coming up. Let's see, November 18. Let's see. Blog Wranglers, right? That's a blog. Scammers talk. Okay, there you go. Okay, scam target web designers. Okay, first contact. Yeah, I'll find it right now. It's from JB JBS Partners. Yeah. So first contact. Hello, I'm blah blah blah. Do you offer web design for a new company? And if you do, oh yeah. Guess what? I've seen some of those email that came to. I completely ignored it because it didn't sound. There's no company email address and it's not professional at all. You know, just by reading it sounds like shady. So I completely ignored it. Yeah, I got some of these like probably last year. Right? It is so like yeah, exactly the same. If you do a subcredit account, like nobody's gonna. It's kind of tricky, you know, because somebody wants web design. First of all, if they contact you, they should mention your name. Most of them they don't mention your name because it's kind of prefabs, like they automatically created, right, like a bot. They don't mention your name because if they ask you if you do web design, they have to know from someone. They have to refer. Hey, I heard from somebody, or a friend referred me, or I saw your website. Makes sense. So those are the red flags. Then if somebody says like, hey, do you do website design? For any business that wants somebody to do website design, it's not about the credit card. They're going to say, what's your process or how much do you charge? Makes sense? Not credit. That's going to be the last question. When you say, okay, we charge this much, then they're going to say, how do you take payment? They're not going to go directly to the credit card. So that's like a red flag. I had me God for I had me God for about 3 days till the last email. Yeah. So when I saw that, man, Shane, when I saw that, I completely ignored it. I got like several. I'm just, this is like a scam, and maybe a bot. Makes sense. So everything, there's so many red flag. Second contact. Look at that. Hey, hello, Joe. Oh, this is the name one. Thank you very much for email. Okay, I've also out of painting company, so I need you to get me an estimated. Wow, this one looks real. Yeah, the second example looks real. I'm providing my budget is I'm waiting for email for the estimate. Here's my company, Collision Repair Specialist. You can do some background check on these domains. So you can go to the domain, do Whois lookup, and see how long they've been in business. If they just started like a few months ago, then there's something not right. If they claim they've been in business for a long time, but the domain purchase creation is too recent, then there's a red flag. But yeah, I agree with you. The second one really looks legit, right? Because it talks about, let's see, I have an auto painting company. Let's see how this. Okay, so this is a good article. Yeah, how the scam works. Third-party payment scam, payment reversal, advance. Okay. Yeah, the first one, easily, I kind of ignored it. But the second one, yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Yeah, let's see. Especially if they can come to your contact page, right? If they come to your contact page. Yeah, that's hard, man. Because if you send them a contract and everything, I think what I would say, maybe call. See if they take a call or do like a Skype video, because the second one looks really legit. The first one is kind of completely like thrown off. You know what I mean? So did you get some of these as well? And what did you do when you got this scammy email? Did you figure out too, or scam targets web designers? Yeah, sometimes we don't even think about it, right? I mean, this stuff looks legit. I don't have a domain yet, but I want the domain name as this. I'll be providing the images. Okay. My comment, kindly get back to me with your cell phone number so that we can have a say about text on the phone. Why not talk? Right? Okay, like text. Why not talk? Okay, yeah, this is very, 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 very kind of. You can't even think about it. Just like wow, this. Because what's going to happen if they give you? Well, the thing is, they are paying you. I mean, if it doesn't, if the payment doesn't go through, then that basically means. But the problem, you don't want to give away your information. You want them to send you what do you call it, mail it to you, or PayPal you, or cash, what do you call it, Venmo, something like that, right? Had me going for about 3 days. Wow, really? But nothing. I hope nothing got stolen from your end, right? I mean, your credit card, anything like that. None of those things happen to you, I hope, right? Yeah, basically Shane was talking about the scam target web design. Let me show you guys what Shane is talking about. So some of the freelancers, and I did get some of these, but I ignored it. So there's an article here by JPS Partners about scam target web designers, right? So the first email you get, something like, hello, I'm such and such. Do you offer website design for a new company? And do you accept credit cards? Right? Good. So to me, this looked like a bot, right? Right away, I know that it's not legit. Yes, you can pay with a credit card through PayPal. Well, that got prompt reply, which unfortunately is unusual in my experience. Reading the scammer's reply, a number of points stood out. The punctuation was not correct. He used need 4 times in one paragraph. He referenced another website as if to copy it. Few clients announced they want hosting. He explained that he had all asset, image, logos, text content. He gave a budget range, a private project consultant. The email ends with a request for my cell phone number. He wanted to text about the project. I got so mad after being led for 3 days. I filed an internet crime with the FBI. Excellent. Yeah, it's Shane. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because you feel happy. Somebody contacted you through the website, and now they want to scam you, right? It's very frustrating. But I did see some of these, and luckily I ignored it. Okay. So I simply put the first line of his second email into the search engine and found many posts in the search results. So there you go, guys. Learn this lesson. So sometimes when you get an email like this, you freelancer out there, and if you're not sure if this person is legit, the first thing you need to do is take the email address and do a search on the search engine. Okay. So let's say I simply put the first line of his second email into the search engine and found many posts in the search results. Here is the prompt reply from the scammer. He used the email address. Look at this. I mean, Shane, don't you think this email, just by looking at it, is super shady, right? One Herbert Jack Sun Automobile at gmail.com. Are you serious? So that's shady, right? It's not even a company email. That doesn't mean sometimes companies don't use Gmail. That's another problem, right? So the second contact, hello, Jim. Thank you very much for your email. I have an auto painting company business and I need an information website to promote my business. Look at the way that is. So I need you to check out this site, but I need something more perfect than this if it's possible. It's also right here. So I need you, that's the word need so many times. So I need you to get me an estimate based on the site I gave you to check out. The estimate should include hosting and I want the same page as the site I gave you to check out. I have a private project consultant. This is so weird. Even reading is so weird, right? He has the text, content, and the logos for the site. Note, I want the same number of pages with the example site I gave you to check, including blogs. It's actually one blog. I want only English language. Well, fix yours. I don't have a domain yet, but I want the domain name as that. What do you mean you don't have a domain name? You need somebody to design your website, but you don't have a domain name yet. So now this is something where freelancers need to learn that if a customer seems like they don't know what they want, you gotta qualify them and ask them questions like, what type of business is this? Like, and why do you want that domain? Just because they want this domain doesn't mean it's going to be available. So that's kind of weird, you know. I will be proving. Here's another problem. Instead of providing, I will be proving the image, logos, and content for the site. My budget is 35 to 6,500. I will be waiting for your email for the estimate. Here's my company name, Collision Repair Specialist. You can just Google the company name and even contact them. But this one's shady right here. Can we have a suitable text unfound? Like, why? You don't want to talk? So that's this is the link from jpspartners.com. Look up for what do you call it? Look up for, let's see, I got this from Shane right here. Look up for Jim Spencer. The topic is Scam Targets Web Designers by Jim Spencer, published on November 18, 2019. Okay, November 18, 2019. You can read more about this article about the scams. So you don't want to get scammed. This is for the designers out there, freelancers, okay? Be careful. All right. It is 6:34 p.m. Central Time right here in San Antonio, Texas. Let's go and continue talking about some of the ideas according to the advertisement blog, advertisement.com. So some of the ideas for if some of you are in the restaurant business, or if you know anybody in the restaurant business, or if you have a client who is in the restaurant business. So these are some of the ideas that this article shared. So the one, some of the tip is, let's talk about the first tip, and that is sell gift cards that don't expire, right? Because the situation right now, most people are not dining in, right? Because the current event, the so-called crisis, right? So you have the pickup, you have the delivery, but why not make a gift card and sell it without expiration? Because when all these things, goes back to normal, then they can definitely use that card to, purchase the food that you gave, that they purchased through you from the gift cards, right? So make sure you offer gift cards for your food with no expiration, okay? Or maybe just live like 1 year at least. 1 year expiration if you want to, right? That's a tip number one. Tip number two, you can, they're talking about you can sell ready-to-heat frozen meals. So if there's an option for you to make a ready-to-heat frozen meals, maybe that's a good idea. If something that you can add it to a menu, or if I can sell this frozen, so people can just buy it and instead of like cooking and eating it as soon as possible. So that's another option. They're talking about offer some type of ready-to-heat frozen meals. Okay. And don't forget to utilize your social media to basically continue to engage with your customers, right? It talks about here that how the sale for the pizza increased more than 54%. So if you want to add that in your menu, you can, because a lot of people, I guess, they just don't want to cook, just buy something ready. So sales for the pizza kind of business has increased almost like 54%. Okay. Right now, Instagram has a feature where your customer can actually order the food from Instagram itself, like the order now button on the social channels. I think Facebook has that option too. So try to utilize a social media channel to tell your audience like you can also order from the social channels. Okay, update those information on the website. Use the social media channel to talk about how you're following the so-called the CDC guideline, how you're keeping the place clean, how you're preparing the food. So you can do some sort of live streaming showing that. If you do deliver food through third-party companies, or if you do it by yourself, then don't offer a fee for delivery. Okay, make sure of that. Now they're also talking about giving away secret recipe. I wouldn't recommend that, but I think the reason they said this because companies like Hello Fresh and some other companies already selling the recipes in a huge amount of quantity. So if you can sell recipes for some of your food to your customer, that could be an option that they can go with. Okay, so let's see, clarify how you're practicing safe method. That basically means on the social channels, if you're going to do delivery or pickup, you can do a picture of how your staff are, following the rules and whatnot. Keep the drive-through open. Make online ordering and payment an option. So if you have a website and you want your customer to make the order, I know they're probably going to call you to make the food ready. How about having an option where they can order from your website and pay it on the website? That way they can just come and pick the food. Okay? And same thing with the offer takeout. So these are some of the ideas. Offer takeout. Use the social media channel. Let's see. I like the idea of probably have food that is frozen, ready to take out video, right? For the hot cooking classes, because a lot of people right now are actually tuning into YouTube and basically learning how to cook. So if you can do a quick Zoom or live streaming showing like some of the food that you do in the restaurant, I mean, that can be something very interesting for your audience to see, right? So these are some of the ideas, I think interesting ideas on how to take your restaurant in a second level and improve it around this time. So check out the article from the advertisement, that's MINT, and look up for the article 18 creative ways to keep your restaurant running during the COVID-19. Okay? It is 6:40 p.m. Central Time. Any more questions, y'all? Y'all have any more questions about digital marketing? Please let me know. So this is one good article right here. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. Okay. I'm going to wait for like a minute and see if anybody else has any more questions. I don't see any questions in the DM. Let's just wait for a minute. Okay. All right, Shane, let me know if you got anything going on, bro. Any more question on digital marketing, please let me know. It is 6:41 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to wait for one more minute. Even though I said 1 minute, it's another minute. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning with me today. And y'all have an awesome weekend. And don't forget to keep sending me those questions. If you're watching this as a replay, tap the word replay on the bottom, and I'll definitely get back with you. See you all on Monday. Bye-bye for now.